Alright, fuckfaces, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap. Artwod is an online art platform which is solely responsible for all the skills that you see before you, right? The art skills, the draftsmanship skills, skills, the drawing from imagination skills, right? Link in description. I'm not affiliated, I'm a dick writer, but if you want an art platform that gives you the work that will provide tangible results, then Artwod is where you go, right? And if you don't believe me, just wait 10 years and then you'd be like, God damn, I really should have believed him because this guy's art is fucking amazing and he's still only doing Artwod, right? So yeah, there you go. There's my there's my little marketing plea. No, marketing I don't fucking know my little marketing shtick. Whatever the fuck. Draw along, get your fucking pen out, get your paper out, right? Ideally pen, of course, pen or pencil, but ideally pen, because you're trying to build confidence. Also, I was looking at some other things and I realized even doing something like this makes this design so much better. Yeah, I genuinely think I'm starting to understand a decent design language. When it comes to, yeah, like especially like the concept art I've been seeing on Pinterest, right? Now, obviously, we're gonna be changing a little bit here and there, but yeah, I genuinely think I'm starting to understand what makes decent art or decent concept art. And a lot of it genuinely comes down to protrusions, right? Protrusions, it's like protrusions, additions, subtractions, right? And silhouette obviously is a huge part of it. And I know all these words are probably buzzwords. So what I mean is like, things adding on top of each other, right? Like boxes adding on top of boxes, right? This is a box being added on top of a box. And then this is like the same box is being subtracted. There's a box being cut out from inside of it. What type of box? This type of box. This type of tiny box is being subtracted out of it. Right? How do you learn the skill? Artwod. Again, they teach you shape and form manipulation. Right? If you think you understand perspective, but you can't do this, you don't understand perspective. Because I barely understand perspective, and I can just about do this. Right? But what are we doing? We're in the Artwod portrait roadmap. We are at a section where we look at a reference, project a box onto that reference, and then draw that as in like the box as in the perspective, right? The perspective that the person's face is in as a box, right? The most simple form, which denotes or informs perspective, right? And then what I'm doing is the extra mile, which is I'm projecting a sphere inside the box, and I'm projecting inside the sphere center lines, vertical and horizontal, right? Like this, right? This minor axis, or this sphere with a particular minor axis that you see here, right? This sphere with a particular minor axis that you see here, which of course the particular minor axis is what follows the box, right? The planes of the box. And basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to visualize 3 layers of perspective. While I'm talking, I am of course thinking because I'm looking at this reference, right? And I'm trying to figure out exactly where this girl's head is oriented. Her head is at a slight tilt. Her head is at a slight tilt, and we're seeing the bottom of her head as well, right? And what I've realized now is actually like for me in particular, I do I do better when I actually have to think about the sphere first, because I'm noticing now with myself. I'm doing better when I have to think about the sphere first and then the box surrounding that sphere. You know what I mean? So like it makes it easier for me seemingly. And this is the beauty, is like this is the part where all of our all of our, and I'm pretty sure I got this box wrong, right? But this is the part where all of our learning, the way in which we learn is different, right? This is actually the beautiful part, because I realize that I'm like, well, I'm finding it easier to, not easy, by the way, not easy at all. Projecting 3 fucking layers of perspective and trying to hold that proportionally, right, and consistently while you're applying is extremely difficult, let it be known, right? There's a reason beginners are always fucking bitching, being like, perspective, I'm never gonna draw the boxes. Look at me, I'm so unique. I don't want to do the hard work. Oh, right? There's a reason that that's a whole meme with beginner artists, right? And it's not a meme, it's pathetic, but it's a meme nonetheless, right? But it's because perspective is extremely difficult. And this is actually way too much of a... Actually, no, this is a pretty accurate box. I just think this should have been tilted more. This plane should be tilted more, like so, I believe. Maybe not that much, but maybe like this, which is still more than this. And if you can't tell that, you can build your eye, right? Because if you can't tell that this is and angled slightly lower, right, than this, then that means your eye has work to do, which is good because that means you have improvements to be made in your art and in your ability to see. And drawing is seeing, whether it's observing and then analyzing and retaining and recalling, or observing and applying, right? It's a seeing skill. It is really not that much of a motor skill as much as you would believe, right? And actually, I think her face is definitely tilted more downward, right? The front of her face is definitely tilted a bit more downward. So that's a fuck up on my end, which is good, because fuck ups are good. That's how you learn, right? And again, actually, like, holding the sphere inside of this is actually much easier than I expected. But I do believe I actually got quite a few things wrong with this person's face and the box it's projected in. So this is great. This is why I did the whole 50 rep rule, right? It's like, can I actually see what I think I'm seeing? And the answer is no. Here it's actually pretty fucking off. And I feel as if her face is definitely, we're seeing more of the front of her face. And putting it into a box is pretty difficult because, again, like, the box makes, like because Antonio, the founder of artwod, right, the man who completely changed my life and created this incredible platform which has catapulted my art skills, right, with the exercises, because again, they give you the work. By the way, artwod gives you the work. They don't fuck around. But again, they don't give you enough work, I will say, because they're still trying to cater to pussies, i.e. beginners, right? It's not their fault. Again, it's a business model. I completely understand. Beginners are the largest target audience because they're the ones who are going to bitch the most, and they're the ones who are going to never stick to anything. So obviously you want to make sure, it's easy for them, right? But old artwod used to be a lot more about the grind, right? And then they introduced grind nodes, which of course give you that grind again. But again, their grind nodes aren't even as many repetitions as they used to be, right? It's a decent amount, don't get me wrong. It's maybe like 80% of what it used to be. But the point I'm saying is artwod gives you the work. Just do 10 to 20 times of what they require, like what I'm doing. This is actually only supposed to be 3 repetitions, by the way. Like this exercise is just supposed to be 3 boxes based on what they show you. It's like, oh look, 3 characters, now put them in boxes. That's what this exercise is. I am doing the 50 reps, and each box has a sphere inside of it with the center lines, vertical and horizontal, also inside of the sphere, inside the box, right? And then I'm visualizing those 3 layers of projection and turning it into a sphere with the box on the outside, of course, and the center lines on the inside, of course, and I'm drawing hard surface shapes over it. That is what I'm doing. That is called actually going above and beyond. And even me, like, I'm sure I could do 10 times more. But you know, I'm perhaps not smart enough, not in the intellectual sense, but in this ability to challenge myself, right? Like, perhaps I can challenge myself even more, but for the time being, this will have to suffice, because for the time being, this is what I'm interested in. I'm interested in drawing hard surface shapes. I'm interested in improving my portraiture, and I feel as if this is a nice blend of the two, right? And I feel as if this is actually improving my ability to spatial reason 100%. And it's probably going to improve my portraits down the line, when most people who will be at quote-unquote this point in the exercise won't even be able to see perspective. Meanwhile, I am already seeing perspective and the sphere and the center lines, and I'm drawing hard surface shapes over that 3 layers of perspective projection, right? Why? Because I've done 10 times more work that's required. And this is me saying that you can do that too, by the way. I'm not saying that, oh, look at me, I'm so special. I'm saying I'm a nobody and I'm able to do this. Like, I'm literally nobody, okay? Like, I'm not of above average ability. If you look at my channel, 300 plus videos of above average effort, right? Which everybody can. Say it with me now. Train, because it's a skill. It is a skill. It is not a talent. And yes, I fucking hate the word talent. I'm sure there'll be retards, and I think I said this before, but I'm sure there'll be absolute fucking morons who will, you know, 5-10 years from now would be like, he was talented all along. Look, his videos prove that he's talented, because look, of course he was able to achieve it. There are people who can put an exact, I know exactly the argument that's gonna come up. People will say, I could put in exactly as much effort as he has and not even get half the result. Wrong, dipshit. If you put in exactly as much effort I have into the same shit, you'll probably get the same, if not more results, because I'm fucking average, all right? Like, I don't know how else to say it. If you put the exact same amount of effort that I'm putting into the same things, you are bound to get the same results, give or take like 10% in one direction or the other, right? On average. Because let's just say if I'm average, then if you're below average, you're gonna get slightly worse results, which is still pretty fucking good. And if you're above average, you're gonna get slightly better results, which is still pretty fucking good. So at the end of the day, what is the common determinant of the outcome? It is the effort. And so it's your effort, what you input it into, and then the output of that effort, which is simply the hundreds and thousands of mistakes you make, and you attempt to learn from those mistakes. What a fucking goddamn. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that was the answer to learning? To try, to keep trying. It's mind-boggling. I feel as if I've cracked the code. I wonder if my voice is dripping with sarcasm. If not, hopefully it's leaking with cum, one or the other. Right? I refuse to not have either. But also, I request both. Anyways, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Why the fuck is everybody like this? Why are all the models like, like why are all their mouths open? Is this the model look? It looks fucking stupid. There you go. She's got buck teeth. There you go. At least with the way I'm drawing it, she's got buck teeth. Right? But again, like I wasn't thinking that much here. I'm really trying, but it's fucking hard to think about that sphere while I'm in the center lines, right? While I'm drawing features on top of this box, but now I have to, right? Now I really have to see it. So I think the next challenge is to draw the features while still holding that projection of the center line. The sphere and the contours inside the sphere, right? The vertical and horizontal contours, or vertical and horizontal center lines. Because otherwise, like, I feel as if I'm really fucking myself in terms of, again, this is what I mean, like, I'm below average. Like, I can't do anything. Like, I struggle 90% of the time to even slightly do anything, right? I'll keep it into this perspective for the time being, just because I want to, like, respect the accuracy of this. This is not accurate, but I want to respect the accuracy of this in the sense that, like, I want to be accurate to this and build that skill as well, which is accurately creating, you know, a sphere and holding that projection, right? And again, what I'm doing here is ghosting. Ghosting is really good. It's the step between pure visualization and making the mark, right? It is a ghost, right? It is the act without making the act, without committing to the act. Yeah. So. But yeah, no, I know there's gonna be people who are gonna fucking call me talented either way, right? Maybe that's just my ego. Hopefully, I'm hoping people don't call me talented, right? But I've already gotten it on my stream. Somebody was like, such outrageous talent, right? Or like such incredible, and I was like, I really appreciate the compliment because I know what you're trying to say is, wow, this is good, right? Like I get it. People, I'm assuming like. Let's just say arbitrarily, like the average person uses talent without thinking about it, and then there's a subset that don't use it, and then there's a subset that use it knowing the insidious nature of that word, right? Let's just say, you know. So I know like most people maybe they don't mean anything by it, but they're still permeating talent, right? The word talent literally means innate ability, which completely shits on effort and hard work. And especially after I put in all this work, I absolutely fucking refuse to let something like that word completely bastardize my efforts, right? And yeah, there's gonna be fucking idiots in the comments be like, well, he should accept that he does have talent. He should accept that he has talent. Again, I'm hoping people don't say this, by the way, but I'm gonna make up a false argument just to feel better about these conversations in my head. But as I was saying, this false commenter 10 years from now on YouTube, if this platform still exists, would be like, what? No, he should accept he has talent, right? Like, not everybody can do what he can do. And I just say false. I just say your mindset is shit, get the fuck off my channel. I don't need you promoting this shit to anybody who watches me. If you watch me, please never, ever, ever listen to anybody who says anything retarded like talent. That's all I request. Because hard work, effort, enjoying the effort, making mistakes, and just sheer effort and just constantly trying to do that, and pure volume, along with effort focused on the right things, because there are right things to focus your effort on. If you're like, oh, I'm trying so hard, but you're trying so hard and you're like, and you're trying hard on like making shit lines where you're just like, I'm just gonna keep scratching my lines over and over. I'm trying so hard. That's just stupid. That's just bad effort. Maybe I don't have a better example, but I hope you know what I'm trying to say, right? Fundamentals. Ooh, did that word scare you? Well, it shouldn't, fucking idiot. It should inspire you that someone as average as me, if you go back, literally go from this video, go back 1 year. Okay, or just go to the beginning of my fucking channel, right? Watch my first video. Just go to any of like my first 100 videos, right? And now tell me if that person was able to draw this. No, he wasn't in any capacity able to draw this. So I believe we have a consensus on. Oh no, is he gonna say it? Is he gonna say the word? On effort. Oh shit, he said the word. He did the thing. Anyways, yeah, I guess I'm a bit exasperated. Because it's fun to make up conversations in my head. There you go. That was the real reason, right? No, but like yeah, I mean, talent's a bunch of bullshit. That's all I have to say. But see, like if I was talented, I'd be able to come up with incredible hard surface shapes like this immediately. But no, this took me 25 minutes. This took me 30 minutes. Even fucking doing this takes me like 10, 15 minutes. Right? Where's the talent, pray tell? Where is talent, he asks. Everybody else responds, but wait. That's it. He continues to wait. The man knows not. The knot of the nose. Oh, what the fuck I'm saying. Anyways, again, I can't think right now. Fuck off. I'm just fuck off. Okay. Okay, so we got this. Can we attach it? Ooh, maybe we can try something like that. Actually, no. Yeah, see, I'm really losing the perspective, but this is the best part because again, what I try to constantly remind myself is, am I in extreme discomfort? If the answer is no, push even harder, right? Push even harder to see the box. There you go. Now I'm in a decent amount of fucking discomfort. And again, the discomfort I'm feeling is purely from trying to visualize the box, right? Trying to visualize the box, the sphere inside the box, or in this case, the sphere in the box that fits in like on top of the sphere, right? Which seems to be better for how I visualize, or at least understand this, bless me. And then the center lines inside the sphere, inside the box, right? That's just the first step, and I'm already in extreme discomfort there. Now it's like design, right? And I keep saying this, and I will continue to say this, guys. Like it's not end girls, 15% of my audience. Nobody's watching. But anyways, like it is difficult, okay? And that's why it's worth it. I'm gonna keep saying that it is extremely difficult, and that is why it's worth it because I'm in so much discomfort right now. Like I can't even explain, right? Like it is extremely uncomfortable to even try. But if I can do it, you can do it. You know, it's nothing incredible to the point where you can't do it. Say that much, right? There's nothing so unique about me, right? And if you choose to believe that there's something unique about me, then that is your loss because you're basically saying that this person is so special that there's no way that I can do what they're doing. Do you want to ascribe your lack of ability to somebody random on the internet? Right? Do you? Because if you want, go the fuck ahead, but get the fuck off my channel because I'm not allowing that here, right? I'm not allowing that sort of thought process to occur on my channel, right? Or like in my safe space, right? I identify as get the fuck off my channel, like, subscribe, right? In that order, those are all my identities. It's confused my parents, to be honest, but I did tell them in this day and age, it's not about whether they're confused, it's whether I feel validated. And then everybody clapped. That was interesting. Very interesting experience. But either way. Okay, so we got this, right? This is an interesting sort of shape. And then, let's see, we got... Again, like I'm trying to think about the sphere as well, right? Let's not forget, like I can't lose this sphere either. So, this is why I need... Because if that's the perspective, then there you go. Okay, cool. So that's the center. Okay, I'm starting to see a little bit more now. And this is obviously an intentional diagonal that I've done. Right? Okay, so it's a little bit better. I'm starting to see a little bit better. Not that I can see anything at all, but it is a little bit better. Right? Just a little bit. There you go. Something like that, right? I'm just trying to follow it, track it. And now it's like the next question is, I can definitely create a lot of unique shapes. Sorry, not can. I definitely should attempt, and I believe there are opportunities to create unique shapes jutting out from here, right? But it comes down to what I think makes or constitutes a unique shape, right? So let's see. This is very difficult. This is very difficult. Let me at least get the sphere in order. There you go. right? There's my sphere, which is good, because at least I got that in order, right? I did a little bit of multiple rounding here, right? Just a little bit of multiple rounding there, right? But I'm just trying to think, because like obviously I can be like, oh yes, recall the references. Oh yeah, recall the references. But that's not gonna do anything. That's not gonna do anything. That's definitely not gonna do anything. So there you go. That was a mistake. That should have been higher up. But now that I've committed to that mistake, there are other things that hopefully can be done. Right? Okay, so if that's coming out that way, then obviously I need to have whatever's happening here. Because that is the perspective. I'm just trying to think. That's the perspective, that's the sphere that it's attached to, right? I'm trying to figure out the logic if I've even attached this correctly. Yeah, I'm obviously like I'm trying to give as much information as possible to my thought process, but I want to make it very clear. It's very difficult to visualize the 3 layers of perspective, trying to design, trying to ideate all myself, and then also explain my ideation, right? So do bear with me. But again, like I don't know if I actually attached this properly, and I'm not sure how I want to continue this attachment, right? Maybe I want to follow through like that, but maybe I don't. But now I have followed through with that, so now it's like, okay, well, what is happening here actually? I don't know what the fuck, and probably should have left that line, but now it looks a bit garish. But either way, let's see, we got that. Oh, maybe it's, except that's going that way. Okay, so if that's going that way, that should be going that way, so I should have something like this bolt on this side, right? And then it's coming out, and then this is a little bit jutting in, and then I can just bring it out. Okay, bring it out like that, right? That should be okay. But again, like, does that even follow the sphere? I don't think it does. We're gonna have to figure out some logic behind this, because I feel as if I've definitely created some sort of problem here that needs to be solved. Maybe something like this, right? Maybe this is actually what's wrapping around, and that way we can actually there you go. Although that was incorrect. I'm still trying to visualize the sphere, don't get me wrong. But I'm just trying to make this also seem like it has some sort of connection to the sphere, like it's wrapping around it, right? And we can just wrap it around like that, and wrap it around like that. And now, perhaps now I can get the sphere, right? Something like it's coming along like this. Oh no, that was incorrect. Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's more correct, right? And I'm just trying to think, like, what kind of shape is interesting enough, because I could perhaps do something like this, and then it's coming in this way, and then I don't know if I really did a good thing here, but I'm just trying to think. Does that really make sense? No, not really. Yeah, that really doesn't make much sense. This is poor design. Right, that's pretty poor design. Pretty poor design indeed. Well, maybe if I did that. Would that make up for it? Kind of, but not really. It looks like shit all around. I mean, we can agree on that, right? We can agree that it looks like shit all around. And I really did lose the perspective here. Quite a bit. Right? Design-wise, it's just mediocre. Oof. That feels good. That level of failure feels good. But again, what was the big mistake? It's very clear. I didn't have any, like, look at this and this. Like, even this and this were okay, but I didn't have any clear shapes here, right? So that wasn't working. Now, we can still try to salvage this by deciding upon clear shapes that we can use while still thinking about the box and the perspective inside the box, right? Like, so while I calculate, I can still think about what works, like what clear shapes. There you go. See, something like this already. Already, this is much better because it's a clear shape at the very least, right? At the very least, it's a clear shape. Know what I mean? Now, it may not look like much, but this is kind of where, like, okay, now if I were to add some sort of cutout, like, even if it does look muddied, at least we have a large shape that's defined, right? Like, at least, like, this large shape that goes around is defined. Same thing if I were to do something like this, right? Like, it's a clear shape that's being defined. And okay, well, I already made that mistake. That was definitely a bit of a mistake, but we have to go with it, and I have to make this work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something like this. There you go. See, because it's still supposed to be the bottom view. That almost became a top-down view. Now, like this, I fucked up the perspective there completely, but see, if we can at least get the clear shapes to be defined. It still looks like ass, don't get me wrong. Like, it still looks like utter dookie, but it has a bit of personality, you know? The smell isn't that bad. There you go. It still looks like fucking garbage, but... And I did fuck up quite a few things. Like, this is such a mess. So obviously, I definitely need to think more about the large shapes. Like, this was great because I really took my time thinking about the large shapes. But look, it's only been 27 minutes. That's nothing. I usually take half an hour to get to this point. And those few minutes do make a difference. So I'm going to rest my brain. And I don't think there's anything salvageable here, to be honest. Right? Like, yeah, okay, let me just add little fucking form indications. Right? They don't really do much. My lines do need a lot of work. I love how I keep saying that, but have I been even improving my lines? I don't know. Like, I actually don't know if my lines have been getting better. I've been trying. I do have the opinion that I've been trying to improve them, but I don't know if they've actually been improving. Right? That is a complete mess. That is a complete mess. Okay, let's just move on to the 11th rep. Let me rest my brain. All right, yeah, let me rest my brain. But, you know, progress is progress. Even knowing, see, again, like, this is what I mean when I'm shit, right? Like, for me, it takes a lot of work to get to this point, and then I regress. And then it takes a lot of work to get back to slightly this point, or maybe a bit more, and then I regress, right? But that's learning. That's, in general, that's learning. For me, it's probably a bit more, exacerbated, right? Or exaggerated, whatever the fuck. Like, for me, it's probably more emphasized in terms of, like, how difficult it is, but learning is learning, and it'll always be difficult. But yeah, I did put a lot of effort in. I just think I lost it near the end, or like basically halfway through, to be honest. And I definitely could have put a lot more effort in. And I say that every fucking video, I could have put a lot more effort in, but I'm just gonna shut the fuck up. I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. I'm gonna keep trying, and I will slow down my speech starting never. Oh god, I'm gonna go get my water bottle. I thought I wouldn't be parched, but I am. What a sad tale. What a deep tale. Oh, oh, that's some good water. Everybody stay hydrated, please and thank you. Make sure to stretch, right? Put on 40 pounds of muscle, makes a difference. Anyway, anyways. Yeah, but I do hope the people who actually, I guess, care about art do take the message from my channel that you are capable of literally achieving any level of skill that you want. You simply need to first, A, have the mindset that every skill is achievable, B, have the mindset that you'll work towards that skill, and C, have the mindset that it's going to take you minimum 5 to 10, if not more, years to get even mediocre at that skill, right? And by mediocre, D, I guess, the mindset is to have extremely high standards. You know, I'm sure people look at this and like, oh, that's not mediocre, that's not bad, right? Like, it's pretty good, some might say. I'm not some. I would not say. But let's see. Anyways, back to the reference. Well, let me get the angle down first. I'm pretty sure that I understand. Yeah, like you guys are about to see how. Yeah, like it's actually a bit more emphasized than what I have here. So now, is that too much? That might be too much. But I can just say that was just a shitty line. And we can fix it, right? Yeah. Try to project a box onto her face. Let's see, something like this, right? And again, this is a big ass box. I didn't mean for this box to be that big. That's a big ass box. Oopsie. Like again, trying to fit a perfect circle in here. Perfect sphere, right? Is that really the angle of her face? I'm gonna cut this off right around here because that is way too much. Yeah, like that was a huge mistake, way too extended. There you go. That's better. That's already a lot better. But I do believe, well, I do say, my good sir. There you go. Okay, let's see, this line, something's happening here that's not correct, apart from this line being utterly fucked, which might be adding to it, actually. Nah, it's not bad, it's not bad, it's okay. But I'm just trying to figure out if that's actually the perspective her head is in. I feel as if I got... Hold up, let me... It's not bad, it's not bad. This is definitely more accurate than this. For sure? Because her head is a bit tilted. Jesus, I don't know anymore. It's actually so hard. Hold up. Yeah, it is. I believe this is more accurate, but you know what? I might stick to this reference because when I don't understand, that's why I love these fucking subtle head tilts that exist like as references, because they make it so fucking hard to tell what is correct. You know what I mean? Like, and it's already difficult as it is to project a box onto someone's face. Like when I'm at the gym, all I'm doing is staring at people, for lack of a better word. Like I'm just looking, I'm trying to fucking project a box onto people's heads and shit. I'm trying to figure out the horizon line, my eye line. I'm like, wait, how is it that some people are so much taller than me, but they're further away? Even so, how am I able to see the top of their heads and all that shit? And then I was like, and then it was like a moment where like, oh shit, my eye level like is much higher than I thought it was, right? And then it was like trying to figure out, being like, I can see the top of that guy's head, but can I really? Because his scalp is rounded. The top of his head is a sphere technically, right? So like, if I were to project that into a box, am I just seeing the top of the plane? Is that going towards the horizon line? Is the vanishing point going towards my eye level? Like, there's all these things I'm thinking about, as much as I can at the gym without being a fucking, you know, just one of those, just being creepy about it and looking at people, right? I don't want to end up on the news, right? Brown man stares at other men and woman gets accosted for skin color. Well, at least somebody would finally notice me, right? I live a lonely life in my parents' basement. I'm creating a narrative that isn't even real. I have a social life that is abundant, yet I will sing and complain. Yeah. Anyways, thank you. Thank you for coming to my to hashtag Viggy sings. Right? Hashtag Viggy sings. Viggy Sing. That is not my name. Viggy Sing. That's pretty funny. I'm hilarious. No, my last name does start with an S though. Let that be a nice little spoiler for I guess anybody who wants to have no life and attempt to dox me. Right. Okay, see, like I haven't been thinking about the sphere and the okay, I'm just trying to yeah, okay, this is definitely a much more accurate perspective than this. I guess the fact that because I haven't been accustomed to drawing a perfect cube, and again, like the fact that her face isn't a perfect cube, it's more of an elongated box, right? Like it's more rectangular than perfectly even on all sides, right? But yeah, I need to also consistently think about the sphere. So that's where I need to be in extreme discomfort, is constantly thinking about the sphere, right? While I draw this. Yeah, while I draw this, I need to constantly be thinking about the sphere. I fucked up the nose too, but I need to... There you... Okay, so it's getting a bit better. I'm able to start seeing it a little bit better, right? I do believe I angled this a bit too much, right? Because her head is let's see. I'm just using my pen, like, and I'm like squinting my left eye, and I'm like using my pen to fucking outline like over her face, right? Like just from here, just from where my hand is. Like I'm looking at the screen, I'm just trying to outline. If that's how it is, that's actually pretty accurate. Then never mind. That is exactly, not exactly, but that's relatively accurate. Man, I love portraiture. I'm so glad I talked to Tyrion about this, Broken Draw, and I'm so glad he encouraged me to pursue this, because I'm not even gonna do the lips. I want to spend the rest of the time. Yeah, it's already been 37 minutes. Fuck the lips. We'll get to that when we learn portraiture properly. But yeah, I'm so glad Tyrion convinced me, or not even convinced me. I basically asked him, and then he helped me convince myself as to yes, pursue this, right? Pursue portraits and figure for the next fucking years, right? Because they create stories. You know, people's expressions tell a lot. Like I haven't even done anything, and you can probably already feel more emotion from just this fucking block with eyes, right? Or like this girl, like her eyes are closed. You know, she's expressive, right? Why is she making that face? You know, perhaps because she's a model, and the photographer directed her to make that face. But apart from that extremely obvious reason, why? What is she thinking? But anyways, so. Okay, so big shapes, right? I want to try this again, obviously. Not this one, but I want to try what I was going for there. But literally like the same concept, but make it more, I guess more articulated, right? In terms of design. So let's consistently think about that sphere, right? Let's project a perfect sphere as much as we can onto, there you go. It's more like this, right? Yeah, there you go. Onto the page as much as we can, which is extremely difficult. Remember, box, sphere, center lines, right? Vertical, horizontal, all predicated on the box. And I struggle a lot with these subtle angles. That's why I keep doing them. I struggle with this, you know, this extremely subtle angle, but of course enlarged on a much, or like, yeah, brought into a much larger scale, because visualizing on a larger scale is incredibly difficult. That's why Kim Jung-gi and artists who draw at his level are incredible, like, you know, Peter Han, Kyle Kopinski, Sori Kim, TB Choi, Elisa Ivanova, Dan Kumo, Jae Kwang Park, Dong Ho Kim, right? Terada Katsuya, Katsuya Terada, right? Any mangaka really, right? There's a lot of artists. Evan Amundsen, fucking what's it called? There's another one who's really really good at mechs. There's Evan Amundsen, and who else? Jonas Minabo. Yeah, there you go. But anyways, like just fucking click on my Instagram, and if you go to like if you just go through my Instagram, you'll see a lot of these artists that I'm talking about. Right? There's the I think Tankhead was Jonas Minabo, right? I think so. I could be wrong. But either way, like artists who draw at their level are so impressive because they're able to visualize on a much larger scale too, right? Like they see a lot, and it's all knowledge. Never forget, it's all knowledge and thousands of repetitions. If you ever wonder what's separating you from the artists you look up to, it's just knowledge, quote unquote, just knowledge and thousands of repetitions. If that intimidates you, if that intimidates you, and you don't care about art, then cool. You never have to worry about it again. Stop giving it any sort of mental energy and be honest with yourself, right? I don't care enough to do that work. But if that intimidates you, but you do care about art, the effort is the only thing you can control, and you are capable of that effort. Okay, like do not look have the standards of their art to yourself, but do not impose those standards as a means of comparison. Impose them as a means of evaluation, right? And long term, minimum 10 years, minimum 10 years, okay? Like you need to get that in your head, minimum 10 years. And if it comes earlier than 10 years, I thought this would take me 6 years. I thought this point would take me 6 years. And if it comes earlier, great, minimum 10 years. It doesn't change. You're still thinking long term. Now it's simply your standards have increased yet again, right? And your understanding of what you're capable of and what your output and what you're capable of outputting and becoming is now even higher, which is exciting because like, oh, I thought this would take me 6 years, but it took me 3, right? So there you go. Right? Now it's like, okay, shit, then I gotta make my 10 years even more grand, right? 10 years is nothing, by the way. 10 years is nothing. It's fucking nothing. Okay? If you're even like 40, you have 40 years left. All right? Of learning if you decide to pick up art at 40. There's people out there who picked up art at 60, 70 and still fucking went buck wild and created incredible artworks. You can go buck wild too, I believe in you. Anyways, let's see. Okay, so I do want to have not the exact same design, but I do want to have something similar. But again, it needs to come from my PP. Let's see. Okay, so again, I'm having a lot of trouble visualizing, right? A lot of trouble visualizing, which is good because that means I'm really struggling, right? The effort is the reward. You know, every micro mistake I make with visualizing is a good thing. It's the best thing that could ever fucking happen to me. And this is all rooted in neuroscience. You know, when you feel good about constantly making mistakes, your brain learns to focus on those mistakes, right? And I had to pause there because I was really thinking. But again, talking while drawing, while thinking, while fucking drawing and designing, while thinking, while drawing, those are all skills, extremely difficult skills. And talking throws a fucking giant wrench into it. You know, throws a giant fucking wrench into it. But I'll take that wrench and I'll build myself a new hut where I can talk and draw. Hashtag deep, hashtag Viggy inspires, hashtag Viggy famming so hard. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, it's hilarious. I don't know why I'm so cocky, but it's like my mind is projecting everything I'm saying to an audience of like 1 million. You know, like I don't know why. I feel like it's just an inevitability that millions will follow me, right? And not follow me particularly, but just they will understand what they are capable of through what I have shown that I am capable of, right? As long as I can consistently, and again, I'm still like really visualizing and really ghosting. I'm really trying to see this properly. But as long as I can consistently, like to the best of my ability, prove that anybody can draw, I think I'll get a following, right? Because you're an anybody, I'm an anybody, we're all anybody's on this beautiful day, right? Therefore, you can draw, therefore I can draw, right? Therefore, bro can draw. This is fucking, can't believe I'm using Tyrion's, meme, shit template for my own content. Exactly expected of a Viggy Fammer, the original Viggy Fammer, alright? But, okay, we need to stop talking and just start drawing. I'm just trying to think, what have I seen in designs that look cool? Okay, you know what, we'll start with that. We're gonna start with that. Yeah, we're gonna start with that. Okay. So this is something I've seen in a design that looks cool. There you go. And again, there's all calculations happening here, by the way. Like, this is all based on a box. Don't forget, these are all calculated based on a box. All right. So let's see. Right, if that's what I've established. I'm just trying to think. This is the top of my sphere. So why don't we do something like this? Top of mind, as they say. There you go. There you go. Finally got my large shape. Or finally beginning to get a large shape. Right? And this is obviously the other half. There you go. Okay. So it's all calculations, as I've mentioned. Right? Let's see. And did I do this correctly? I mean, perspective's already off, I believe. Yeah, perspective's already off because I fucked something up here, so why don't I try to fix it by doing something like this. Therefore, there you go, something like that. That should, yep, there you go. That should make it slightly better. Still not good enough, but we can still try to. Again, oh shit, see, my lines need so much work. There you go. Yeah, my lines need a lot of work. But I'm still trying to figure this out. Let's see. And then why don't we, I don't know. Because I am trying to, let's see, bring this out. I'll bring this down. And then we shall bring it around town. Bring it around town. There you go. SpongeBob references always make things easier. Okay. Try to really visualize that sphere while I do this. Right. And let's see, why don't we... Okay, I want big shapes, right? I want big graphic shapes. Okay, so let's try making this even bigger. Again, my lines are really mediocre right now. Right, let's really try to relax our grip too. There you go. Little line indications, I guess. So I need to figure out what I'm doing here as well. Let's try to make some logic out of this. Something like that. Maybe it's jutting out. There you go. That's already a little bit better. It's jutting out, perhaps. Right? I'm just trying to think, because we do have a sphere to think about. And... right, there you go. I've already established a little bit of that sphere here. How long has it been? 48 minutes? Okay, we're doing pretty okay on time. This is not a good shape. I'm well aware. This is like a pretty mediocre shape. I could have done a lot more with this shape. But I didn't, therefore, that's just what it is. That's literally just what it is. I didn't, right? So... still got to think about the perspective that this resides in, right? Let's see. Okay, let's see. That is not the perspective I want. See, my mind's trying to already do this from a top-down perspective, but I have the ability to fix that. Right? I have the ability to fix that. We just have to think, well, first I'll do something like this. And then Yeah, I could do something like just really reinforce the perspective. There you go. There you go. See? Ta-da. Okay. And now like that, because that somebody on artwod gave me a feedback, right? But they're like, why don't you try yeah, why don't you try indicating the form a little bit more? And I was like, I do agree. Like indicating the sphere, the contour of the sphere more. So I will try to do that now. Right? Because again, this is the ellipse I have to pay attention to. Right? Something like that. Lines are obviously just very fucking yeah, lines are definitely pretty okay. Nothing incredible. Let's see. That's gonna be over here, so we don't really see that, right? Okay, now what do I want jutting out of here? I do want to jut out of sorts. I'm just trying to remember. You know what? We could do something like this. Let's see. There you go, because that is the perspective, right? That we've established. And I'm trying to see the fucking sphere inside. It's really difficult, like when it gets like this, but I'm trying to see that perfect sphere inside this, right? I feel as if I've kind of got it, but not really. Well, but I could do something like this. Let's see. And then I wanna, there you go. And then this could cut out, right? Okay, so basically they did like an addition, right? We did like an addition where this could cut out, right? Ta-da! Same thing here, right? And then maybe we have a cutout here that is elliptical, because why the fuck not? And then we have a cutout here. Let's see, what did I do? That's just following the perspective, right? Really difficult to do this, by the way. My brain is like fucking, it can't think. It just can't think right now, right? There you go. I know this shape isn't really anything spectacular either, but there you go. Added that just to completely fuck everything up, I guess. Okay, and I'm really just trying to still think about big shapes, but maybe how this could be concluded. There you go. Let's see. There, let's just add some shadow. Maybe that'll make it seem like, hey, oh, there you go. Kind of looks like a transformer a little bit, but much worse. much worse. Perspective is very off, but let's see. There you go. I still want to add like bigger shapes here. So what could come out of this? Maybe this is just a wraparound, right? Not everything has to be anything extremely cool or awesome. Maybe. We'll just have it come around there. And there you go. Right? What the fuck? How am I gonna close this though? Literally, how am I gonna close this? Let's just try to think about the sphere again. Okay, so that makes a bit more sense. And we'll have this. There you go. We'll have it like that. There you go. Why not? Why not have it jut out diagonally? There you go. That definitely looks way more spherical. I mean, this shape is subpar beyond fucking measure, like what I did here. But maybe I could add a little cutout like that, right? Maybe a little cutout like that will spice things up. It kind of does, actually. And then maybe even doing something like this. I guess these are the little details that can make a shape that's pretty mediocre a lot less mediocre. But it's also about, you know, knowing when to use them and hopefully not fucking with the actual shape too much. But this is definitely the best recreation I've had thus far. Even if the shapes have been mediocre, I feel as if like this is great because I actually am learning. Because even if the shapes are mediocre, just because the shapes are large and connected and defined to a degree, it already looks much more readable. This looks 10 times more readable than this. This looks more readable than this, than this, than this. Every single one of them looks more readable because I've actually like slowly have started to be like hum. I believe shapes make a difference. Now I just gotta think like how is this gonna be connected? Right? Maybe something like this. There you go. Not, you don't see that on the other side because it's, yeah, you don't really see that on the other side. Right? I don't know what that's supposed to be honest. But maybe it's just connected. Right? Maybe that's just something it's connected to. Although we could just multiple around it. Again, trying not to bastardize this drawing, but I do have a tendency to bastardize every drawing I draw. So we shall see how it goes. See, like little indications here make a nice difference, right? Again, this needs to be closed off, right? That kind of ruined it, but it's okay. Okay, so yeah, it's been 57 minutes. 57 as the time as when I looked up. That's pretty cool. There you go. See? And then we can just have it close perfectly like that. I didn't even think about that, but that's pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool. And then what else? What else can we do? We still want to have maybe eye area. Who knows? I don't know. I just want to think about some large shape I can draw here. So clearly this is like still the bottom, right? So we should respect that. Yeah, definitely respect it. Let's see. I've already created a diagonal here, so I need to respect it, as I said, and create it there. That's a bit off. There you go. And fuck it, we'll just put it all the way across. There. And then we'll just have a large shape that will go over, maybe. Right? Not that I understand anything I'm doing anymore, but there you go. Form wrapping around. This is the end of the sphere. Cool. Kind of worked out. And then I'll just draw ellipses. And we'll just cut this a little bit just for some visual interest. Didn't even mean to do that, but that actually does kind of look pretty cool. There you go, little visual interest. And what happens here? Maybe just a little manipulated cylinder. Like so. Right, with some contour lines. It kind of got fucked up on the other side, but it's okay. Things happen. There you go, that one connects there, and that one connects there. There you go. And what else? What else? There you go. Let's leave that nice and dark. Okay, this does kind of look like it's... Yeah, it definitely does look like it has purpose. Let me just... Might as well just make this dark while I'm at it, right? Maybe just make it look like it's eyes. Even if it isn't. Might as well just make it look like it's eyes. Ta-da! Damn, this is definitely my... I think this is definitely my cleanest one. For sure. Right? Like, that's actually a fucking perfect sphere, basically. And I managed to wrap shapes around it without it looking fucking retarded and give it some semblance of consistency and hard surface-esque articulation, if that makes sense. But yeah, holy shit, that was hard, but goddamn, that was pretty decent. I mean, I still barely managed to visualize the box and the sphere and the center lines as much as I wanted to, but again, just constant effort, right? That was a good session. I'm glad. By the way, it's like 3 a.m. 3:14 a.m. as the time of this recording. It is technically January 22nd now, Thursday, January 22nd. I don't know why that information is important, but yeah, I had to do my second hour of drawing. I wanted to. I really wanted to do it, and time slipped away. That is what slipped away. What the fuck am I saying? I'm clearly tired and it's late. Anyways, I hope you put a lot of effort in. I hope you tried. I'm gonna just fucking take a piss and go to sleep. Yeah, that's my plan. Anyways, with that being said, as always, fuck you for watching. Good session, by the way. Really good session. But yeah, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please, give me money.